Let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Edwin Perez, who writes, "Hey, John and crew. I don't know if you read yet, but Deadline just dropped that Tom Cruise and Elon Musk's SpaceX are to shoot a movie in space. There are no studios yet attached to it, but it is in very early development. Thanks and stay safe." All right, thanks for sending that in, man. And you know what? This isn't one of the jokes that we've joked around about a lot over the last year. It's like, when does Fast and Furious shoot in space? Next Mission Impossible movie, Tom Cruise straps himself to the side of a space shuttle and goes to the moon, or something crazy like that. No, this ain't no joke. Tom Cruise is partnering up with Elon Musk, SpaceX, and NASA to shoot a movie actually in outer space. This is what we get from, this comes to us from our friends over at Slashroom, who wrote, "Tom Cruise is defying gravity. The global superstar is set to literally leave the globe to star in a new movie which will be shot in space. And he's teaming up with Elon Musk's SpaceX company to make it happen. Deadline reports that this new Tom Cruise space movie is not a Mission Impossible project, and that no studio's yet involved because it is still in early development. But Cruise and SpaceX are working on the action-adventure project with NASA, and if it actually happens, it will be the first narrative feature film to be shot in outer space." This almost doesn't need any commentary. I mean, it is what it is. It's like you read the headline to this and you think, of course Tom Cruise is going to shoot a movie in outer space, because this is just what Tom Cruise does. And listen, there's a gimmick aspect to this for sure. There is a gimmick aspect to this. But let me tell you why Tom Cruise really wants to do this. I'll tell you why Cruise really wants to do this. Tom Cruise is at a point in his career now where I believe he's closer to 60 now than he is to 50. I believe he's closer to 60 than he is to 50. I think he's at a stage in his career now, and he has been for a couple of years, where he is not only doing as much action as he can, because he knows, like every action star, there's a limited window that he can do that stuff. But it seems to me like the last number of years, Tom Cruise has been focusing on legacy. It really feels to me like he's been focusing on legacy. And if you're focused on legacy and you're thinking about your legacy as a film star, as an action star, about the Tom Cruise, I was the first guy to shoot a movie in space. I win. I mean, there just seems to be a little bit of that thing. I just can't help it. When I read the headline, Rob, indeed, the first thought in my head was, of course he is. But the next second thought is, this will forever immortalize him in the history of Hollywood. It cements his legacy. And like forever, where is it? Tom Cruise, first guy ever to shoot a movie in space. Doesn't matter how long history goes, there will only ever be one guy who shot a movie in space first, and it'll be Tom Cruise. So I don't know. It's wacky. I was a little bit surprised to find out it's not a Mission Impossible movie, because it just seemed to me that that's where Mission Impossible or the Fast and Furious franchise will eventually end up going. So it's not going to be that. James Cameron said he floated the idea about him and Tom Cruise doing a movie in space once a bunch of years ago that never actually came to anything. But anyway, Rob, you hear about this. What do you think about the notion of Tom Cruise shooting a movie in space, and why is he doing it?
Well, first of all, John, James Cameron's got to direct this movie. Come on. I mean, and who's going to be the camera crew? And how many people are they going to take up into orbit with them to actually make this film? You've got sound, you've got camera, grip and electric. I mean, I'd say it's a tall order unless Tom Cruise is going to be a one-man band and shoot it himself, which he could do.
With a GoPro on a selfie stick.
Yeah, which, hey, you're still in space. This is an inevitability as our space presence continues, but I just think, talk about cost prohibitive, and who's going to give them insurance? I want to know what company is going to give them production insurance to shoot this thing, because I'd love to talk to the CEO of that company. But look, I think even if it's a 5-minute sequence in a film, it'll be interesting to see if this goes. One thing that Elon Musk can do is he can put people into orbit. He'll be able, as we'll see later this month, SpaceX can actually put people into orbit. So the vehicle to get into space is his. And if he wants to put up the money, I don't know how much it costs to launch a SpaceX rocket into orbit, But that's this is a budget buster. I'd like to see it happen just because the idea of it just tickles me to death. And I think if there's anybody that could actually make it happen, it's the two of them.
I think you nailed on something important there, that there is a really good likelihood that this is not a movie that will shoot entirely in space, but rather be a part of a movie. But either way, he'd be the first guy to do it. So question here is, guys, what do you make of this news? Are you like, yep, of course, Tom Cruise is going to space? Are you surprised by this? Do you think it's actually going to happen? Remember, a lot of movies get in early development and never happen. Maybe this will be one of those. What do you guys think? Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.